Hi, Rutuja ma'am. This
Yes, Rujuta.
Rujuta. Hi, Rujuta ma'am. Sorry, my bad. Hi, Rujuta ma'am. This is Nadia from ZenOnco.io and Love Heals Cancer. We guide cancer patients on adopting an integrative oncology treatment approach. We find the right balance between medical treatment and complementary treatment approaches.
Right.
We help patients with our team of oncologists, lab experts, nutritionists, and other healthcare professionals where we can improve the total treatment outcome for the patient, right? And through this, we also help in bringing and connecting together the community so that cancer warriors like yourself here today are able to share their inspirational stories and share in the motivation and share in the whole the complete treatment approach is not only about the medical side of it, isn't it?
True.
It has got lots to do with the mind and lots to do
True.
with the morale being lifted, right?
True.
Today we have with us Rujuta ma'am here, and she is going to take the stage, tell her story, tell her truth. We cannot wait to listen to her and her experience. Ma'am, you can take it from here.
Sure. I'm a doctor, an anesthesiologist.
Yes.
Well, I have anesthetized a lot of patients for cancer surgeries. I've given them treatment for pain. And well, somehow I never thought that I will be on the other side someday. These things just happen, and I was not very, I was regular about my other health checkups, but mammography was not something which I really did, frankly. I should have, but I didn't go for it regularly. Being a doctor, I knew that I should be doing it, but well, somehow I didn't do it. And one day, suddenly, I felt a lump in my breast.
Right.
And suddenly I knew that I have to do something about it immediately, as soon as possible. So right on the next day, being a doctor, being an anesthesiologist, and my husband also being a doctor, we know a lot of oncosurgeons, oncologists. So it wasn't a difficult thing for me personally. And the decision of going for a biopsy, then followed by treatment and everything, was something which I knew that it has to be done. So it has to be done. It's certainly not easy for people to go about it so fast. But I would advise to, I would tell anybody who asks me, I tell them, no, go for the treatment as soon as possible, because it is important to get the treatment and get the advice and follow it. So I immediately, on the next day itself, I went for the biopsy. The biopsy reports came, and it turned out to be a infiltrating duct carcinoma, which was ER, PR, HER2 positive. So triple positive.
Oh. Okay.
And well, it involved a lot of surgery, then followed by chemotherapy, followed by radiation therapy. And along with the chemotherapy, it also had this trastuzumab therapy for 1 year, full 1 year. And of course, since it was a hormone positive growth, also hormone suppression in the form of tamoxifen. Now, the current guidelines are saying that even ecosprin helps in preventing recurrence.
Right.
So they also started me on ecosprin. Since it is a ERPR positive and I'm 53. So now, it was almost postmenopausal kind of a thing, perimenopausal. So they also advised me another surgery to take out the ovaries, so that because as it is, I was going into menopause, so the ovaries really didn't have much role further. So doing a surgery for this thing, bilateral salpingo-oophorectomy, was also indicated. My gynecologist suggested that since you're going for a salpingo-oophorectomy, rather go for a hysterectomy with salpingo-oophorectomy, which will be done laparoscopically. So I went for that after the chemotherapy, 2 months after the chemotherapy was over, continuing through that period with my trastuzumab. That is, it is a drug which flags the cancer cells to
Right,
our
ma'am.
own immune system.
Right, ma'am.
So our immune system is able to catch hold of those cells and destroy them. So that treatment got over in June. All this process started in May, June last year. It got
Right.
over in June this year. I'm continuing with my tamoxifen and ecosprin now. That's all. So regular follow up with my doctors.
Regular follow-ups with your doctors. And how has the symptoms, tell us more about how these symptoms took place on your body and how they, before the diagnosis, before you saw the lump, were there any other symptoms that you saw about?
Frankly, I didn't see any other symptom. There were no symptoms. I was going routinely doing my routine activities. I was doing everything. Everything was going on fine. In fact, to be frank, last June I underwent the surgery. I was going to go for a trek in the Himalayas in August, and I was preparing for my trek. I was doing all regular treks, jogging, doing everything, doing my exercise, yoga, breathing exercises for the preparation of that trek. And suddenly I felt this lump.
Oh my. Yes. And how did you disclose this to your family, ma'am? And
Immediately, this is my husband is a doctor.
yes.
Within half an hour, I just told him that there's a lump, we need to do something about it.
Right, right.
We need to do something about it. And this doesn't look like something simple, because since I'm a doctor, I could really get it. It's not very easy for everybody. But even if anybody feels a lump or if anybody feels some symptoms, it is best to go and take the treatment, take medical attention, seek help rather than just sitting on it or worrying about it.
In the beginning phase, they say that mostly people are in a denial stage, ma'am.
True.
What do you have to say about that?
For a layperson who's not a doctor, it is possible. It is easily possible. But I couldn't have possibly been in a denial because I myself treat patients. So I was not in that stage. But I would say that rather than being very emotional about it, one should have a more practical approach for this, because don't waste valuable time in going in the denial or in not recognizing the signs. Go for a regular mammography. So if it is there, it will be detected and you can get it treated immediately. Follow a regular schedule of mammographies. After 50, they should go for mammographies. And if a family history is there, they should also go for a regular checkup.
Right, right.
So all these things, what happens? It is very difficult to accept when you are absolutely fit and fine and you don't have any other medical issues, and all of a sudden you have a issue which might change your everything.
Yeah, that's the denial phase I was talking about.
Yes. Which might change your everything. Everything that you are planning, everything that you're thinking might change, is going to change. But then one should have a more practical approach, because that change is going to happen whether you want it or not.
Correct.
But delaying the treatment or not seeking medical aid for that is not going to help. That's not going to really help. So what is really going to help is going to a doctor, getting the treatment, and getting the right things which are needed. If you are still hesitant, you would rather approach somebody, some family friend, somebody who can be an emotional support for you, as well as who will be able to help you out to take the decisions. If your family is there, no, if your family is supportive of the whole thing, most of the time the family is supportive. So don't hide it from your family in the first place. Don't hide it from your family. Don't hide it from your spouse. If your kids are grown up, don't hide it from your kids. If they're too small to understand, there's no point in telling them. But if they have grown up, and kids, they really understand. Kids, they really understand. Nowadays, they are quite well informed about a lot of things, so they understand.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Also, in your case, I will say that self-examination has led you to
Yes.
an early detection.
Yes.
Could you talk about the
Yes.
importance of self-examination?
Self-examination is something which has to be done at least once a month. I mean, that is a general trend. That is what is advised. Once a month, you do it. But self-examination is along with mammography, because self-examination, when you do self-examination, the size of the tumor is quite big. You can detect them even at a smaller size on a mammography. So just self-examination is not enough. It has to be annual mammography plus self-examination monthly.
Right. So you're chalking out a procedure for each.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I mean, ladies should do that. Ladies should do that. And a self-examination has to be a proper self-examination, which you do with a flat hand. And the whole breast has to be palpated when you are in the bathroom, fully without your clothes and in front of a mirror. So that is
Right,
the
ma'am.
way you should do it.
Right, ma'am.
And be very critical about yourself, because that is going to take you to a longer way in life. Because what happens if you are not really very critical about it, you will detect it at a later stage. The earlier you detect it, the better the results.
True. True. Very true.
So,
ma'am, yeah, tell me. No, you go on, ma'am. Sorry, I interrupted
no,
you.
that's okay.
I was just going to ask you my next question. So you go on.
Sure.
Yeah.
Please.
Ma'am, as compared to your lifestyle before and after cancer, can you just tell us how you used to live and what changes you have made right now because of the treatment? And
well, the treatment, actually, it was a chemotherapy which was given. The surgery really was a conservative breast surgery. So it wasn't a very painful thing. And it also wasn't something which changed my physical appearance much. So the surgery didn't really make a significant change in my lifestyle. But the chemotherapy made a difference, because you're used to a very regular lifestyle. I mean, you go out and have something and eat something, but for those 3 months, I just had to restrict myself to home food. I couldn't just move around like I used to before. During those 3 months. There were restrictions for my food as well as my physical activities. But I did a regular controlled, not too strenuous, but I continued to do my workouts, which really helped me.
Brilliant. That is
because not to that extent. I mean, initially I was preparing for a Himalayan trek, so I was like driving myself like anything. But this after that, I took it a bit easy, but I did my yoga. I've always been doing. In fact, I've been doing yoga since I was a child. So I continued with that, and that really helped me. The regular exercise, the yoga, it was very good for me throughout that period. I was working throughout the chemotherapy. It was a weekly chemotherapy. So I would work from Monday to Thursday. Friday, I would take the chemotherapy. Saturday, Sunday, I would rest. And Monday, I used to be back to work. And all my colleagues were very nice to me. And they were like so cooperative that they would like say, Ki, see, don't go near that person. That person has a cold today. So you might get infected. So they used to like protect me from all these things. So it was very nice.
Overly took care of you.
Yes. Everybody went out of their way to take my take care, and they were so sweet. Everybody. And after that, it was a radiation for 3 weeks. That generally what happens when it is the chemo was once a week, so it wasn't that strenuous. And thankfully, that particular regime which I was getting didn't have too many side effects. So, but I followed the instructions. I followed all the medication and everything. And whatever medicines they were giving me, they must have been helping me to avoid the nausea and loss of appetite and all that. So those medicines, I think the things have improved a lot. When I was younger and during my initial student days, patients used to have really a lot of side effects. But nowadays, even my patients, I mean, I'm an anesthesiologist. So when I was learning, most of the patients post-operatively used to vomit. But nowadays they don't. Because we have good medications, we have good anesthetic agents. So I think it's something similar to that in the chemotherapy regimes also, I suppose. The things have evolved and improved. And I mean, we have, general people have an impression of their grandparents or somebody who had a chemotherapy maybe 20, 30 years back when they used to have a lot of problems and used to have nausea and all. But now the things have changed. So people should know that, I mean, it is not the same as it was when I was a student, that is 30 years back. So,
wow, that is a long time.
So that it has changed. I mean, things have changed a lot. So people shouldn't be scared of the treatment because it has become more patient-friendly, the treatment.
Yes.
And another major thing that I would suggest is that the chemo port.
Yes.
The chemo port made a real difference for me because it spared all my veins and my hands. And there was no pain in my hands after the chemo. So that also really helped me. So whenever possible, if required, if the doctor suggests a chemo port, then I think it is worth going for it. So the chemo port is something which will help you to bear the chemotherapy in a better way.
Right, ma'am.
Because we have limited veins, so that generally tends to cause problems. So a chemo port is a very good idea.
Taking into consideration the fact that you juggle both personal life, the therapy, and work. Ma'am, how did you do it? Like, I am all in awe how you went through so much of treatment at the same time you were going to work, at the same time you had to come home and do.
No, the thing is that rest of the thing was the same. The treatment was the additional thing.
Okay.
The rest of the thing was the same because till I got this cancer, I was working, I was managing my home, I was doing everything else. So, but then for that, you need a lot of family support.
Yes, I was coming to that as well.
You need a lot of family support.
Other than everyone at home, the kind of support you got at the hospital, the kind of support you got from your family.
Yes, that is very important. The family support, nothing can replace it. The family is the thing which is going to carry you forward through the whole period. And your long-time colleagues and friends.
Definitely.
So they are going to help you to do everything.
They finally become your family, right?
True,
long time colleagues, long time friends. True. Yes, everybody becomes so understanding.
They are an extended family.
Exactly. Exactly. Wow. And coming more closely to the fact that finally you're on treatment right now, like you said,
Yes.
it hasn't gotten over. You're still on treatment. You're still on
No, I
tablet.
will have to take the treatment continuously for as long as the oncologist tells me the hormone suppression,
Right, ma'am.
tamoxifen.
Right, ma'am. And any effect of it right now on your body or in your eating, in your
Well, yes, I had to undergo a oophorectomy plus this tamoxifen.
okay,
So both are suppressing the female hormones.
okay,
So the estrogen is getting totally blocked. So I get postmenopausal symptoms like hot flushes and sometimes some aches and pains minor. But then the stretches and yoga help me for that.
right,
And
ma'am.
a regular physical activity also helps me for that.
Right, ma'am.
So if I don't do a regular exercise, if for some reason I'm not able to do, if I'm busy, then I get more symptoms.
Mm.
But if I'm regular with my exercise and everything, then the symptoms are almost not there.
You can see the difference. Actually, see the difference. You're saying.
True, true, true.
Mm.
I can see the difference. Exercise, physical activity, yoga, breathing, meditation. If everything is going on fine, I'm fine. But if there's a break in that, say for a week or so, then I start feeling the difference.
Oh,
So I
okay.
try not to have that break. Once in a
Has
while,
to be
sometimes
there.
it happens. Once in a while, it happens because of some reasons I'm not able to do it. Then I start feeling the difference.
Right, ma'am. Right, ma'am. So no, you follow up with your regular checkups and until till a certain period of when the doctor tells you to keep following up on certain.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I mean, first, when the thing got over in June, he asked me to follow up in August. Now, after August, he has asked me to follow up in Feb, 6 months later. So that I continuously do it. So,
Hmm.
I mean, that is important. That is
Of
important.
course, yes. Follow-ups are very important. And not only that, ma'am, could you tell us more about your experience of how you coped with this, the whole thing mentally? I would like to know because it would have been a big trauma for you hearing it all. You said,
Uh, Actually, I mean, it was something like something hits you. You're
okay,
going about with your life and everything is fine. I mean, it's like you're driving in a car and somebody comes and hits you
mm,
and you don't know what to do. But then gradually, when you go to the doctor explains to you everything, the things sink in. Initially, you just want to get the most radical surgery done. I mean, as a doctor, I would want to get everything off. Like, I mean, and you read about these things. I mean, some Hollywood actress underwent bilateral mastectomy with implant because she had a family history of BRCA positive and this thing. But then the doctors tell you you don't need such a radical surgery. The results are very good. You don't have to do this. So get these tests done. Then you don't need a major surgery. You need just a conservative breast surgery. We can take care of the rest of the things. Then you think, yes, yes, okay, fine. I'll go for a more, whatever the doctor is advising. Because initially you just feel that you feel lost. Your control is gone. You feel as if you have lost the control on your life. But then gradually, as the doctors, your family helps, and then you start coming back to the original level. One major change which has occurred in me is that uh, I used to keep myself very busy with my work, my students. Actually, we also have postgraduate students for anesthesiology. So we used to have a very busy schedule for them also. But now I try to give myself, and especially after this lockdown, I have got a lot of time at hand. So I'm able to follow some hobbies also. So I think that also helped me to handle these things. Going back to listening to good music, which I like, going back to books that I would want to read, that also helped me. Because just work would have been pretty monotonous. This has given me a slight diversion. So I went back to the books, went back to the music, CDs, went back to the
CDs.
music CDs.
These were a thing.
So, and I've always liked good music. So I can continue to listen to good music and read good books which I like. That helps me a lot. Go for walks. Now, I like to go for walks also.
Okay. From the way you're speaking, doctor, I see you're such a physically active person. You do yoga, you exercise so disciplinedly. I mean, everything you've taken care of so well. And then to accept that after, in spite of all of this, that the efforts that you put in taking care of your body and taking care of the your health, how did you finally accept it that no, okay, I have to get something done about it?
Well, the first thing that came to my mind was that, well, now that this thing has happened, this needs to be dealt with.
It's a very strong thought.
Because just thinking that why did this happen is not going to help me. Because nobody can answer why this has happened to me. In particular, my particular case. I mean, nobody can tell why it happens to anyone. Now, going on thinking in your mind, why did it happen to me? Why did it have to happen to me? Asking yourself questions for which there are no answers is not going to help. Initially, one does that. Even I did that. And the sooner you come to accept the thing and go ahead with the treatment, it's better. Because you cause yourself less of a trauma. If you keep on hurting yourself, I could have gone on hurting myself. Why didn't I get a mammography done? I should have got a mammography done regularly. Then it would have got detected earlier. Then it would have made the things simpler. But whatever has already happened, you cannot change that. Whatever has already happened, you cannot change that. So even the doctors told me that since you have been regularly examining yourself, you detected it at a stage which was slightly ahead of what would have been detected with a mammo. But we are still in a stage where you will not need a lot of major surgery. You can get away with breast conservative surgery. So the doctors also told me, don't torture yourself by these thoughts. That why didn't I go for mammography regularly? I should have done that. Because that is not going to help. Now that it is there, let us go ahead, get it treated, and move on. Continue with your regular lifestyle. That will help you to deal with that's what the doctors told me. That will help you to deal with the situation. And nobody really, the doctors never told me to stop except when I underwent the surgery. Immediately after surgery for a couple of weeks, 3-4 weeks, I had to go easy on my exercise. But walks, yes, fine. They said walk is not a contraindication. You can walk. But other exercises, yoga, that you'll have to stop for a few weeks. Once that period was over, you can go ahead with your yoga. So walking is one wonderful thing. Just listen to music and walk. Or in the morning, early in the morning when you walk, you don't even need a music. You just can have a nice fresh air and beautiful birds chirping around you, and you can just walk.
Absolutely. I completely agree. It's a very soothing technique, if you ask me.
True.
Very soothing. It calms the mind. You're ready for the day.
Yes.
It
Yes.
brings you that freshness from nature. You are able to
True.
get firsthand, right?
Yes.
That puts you in a better space to,
True.
face
To deal with everything.
yes.
To deal with everything.
Wow, ma'am, you literally because it's very being a doctor as well as a cancer patient to be talking to us in such a situation, like I'm getting perspective from both sides. Like I'm somewhere which is a very good thing, if you ask me,
Yes.
because you're one of a kind. So that is, I'm so excited trying to figure out, okay, so she knew the reality of things. She knew the information was all there. But still, okay, there is this side also. How did she cope with both sides? You know? That is what I'm
The thing is that once you have another thing that I would like to say is that trust your doctor. Trust your doctor. Trust the people who care for you, and trust your family. Don't hide it from your family, because they will be there for you throughout the period. So don't hide anything from them. It is very important to take them into confidence immediately after you have any doubts, even the slightest of doubts. So that way you should, like, take your family into confidence, and they will be with you in the worst of your moments and in the best of your moments. So your family and your extended family is the rock solid support that you can get.
I couldn't agree with you more, ma'am. I couldn't agree with you more. Because someone who's gone through what you've gone through, you're speaking with so much of humbleness, at the same time informative, at the same time with, no, I have empowered this. I'm much more at peace right now. I'm much more at, you know, you feel that bring it on. Like, I can deal with anything right now. That is the attitude with which you're talking to me. Like, I have seen it. I know what I want to tell you that this is what it is,
Thank you.
which is it's a very inspiring attitude. It's a very nice, even while talking to you, I feel that vibe coming from you,
Thank you.
you wake up with that gratitude, right?
Yes, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. I feel blessed to have such a wonderful family. I feel blessed to have got such wonderful doctors. I feel blessed.
Very true, very true. Ma'am, what would you have to say to others out there, what to our viewers out there, caregivers, survivors, patients, all of them watching this video? What's your message, your words of wisdom of, someone
Mhm.
who's been through such a, um, uh,
Uh, I would like to say that you should take away the fear factor that you have from the C word. Don't get feel afraid to say cancer. Do you ever feel afraid to say diabetes? Do you ever feel afraid to say blood pressure? Do you ever feel afraid to say heart attack? So why are you afraid to say cancer? So, it's like any other disease. It's like any other disease. And it's as bad or as good as any other disease. So don't be afraid. Don't have a prejudice. Don't think that it is end of the world if you have it. Go to the doctors, discuss it with them. Now, if you have a high blood sugar, do you feel that it is the end of the world? You go to the doctor. The doctor tells you to take tablets. Sometimes it asks you to take insulin. You take that and you carry on in your life. This is something like that. If you have a gallbladder stone, you have to undergo surgery. You don't think it is the end of the world. You just go for a laparoscopic cholecystectomy and you are done with it. So this is also something like that. So don't be afraid of the cancer word. It is like any other disease. Go to the doctor will treat you. Like any other disease, early diagnosis and treatment is the key for success. So take care of yourself, take care of your health, love yourself. That's very important. I mean, especially for women, I would like to say, pay attention to yourself. घर का सारा काम करने में अपनी तरफ ध्यान नहीं दिया और ये सब हो गया. Don't do that. I mean, you should love yourself. Only then you'll be able to love your family. Only then you'll be able to take care of your family. And taking care of yourself is not selfish. It is, in fact, the most selfless thing that you can do. Because if you are good and fit, only then you will be able to take care of your family properly. If you are not well, you will not be able to do that. So, overall health consciousness among women, especially, is very important. And they should take care of themselves. They should pay attention to the small signs that they get sometimes and not ignore them. Because the earlier they take help for it, they'll get better faster and they'll be able to be with their family for a longer time. So खुद का ध्यान रखो. Pay attention to yourself. Take care of yourself. Only then you'll be able to take care of the family and your friends and your extended family.
So beautifully said, ma'am. So beautifully said. Wow. I feel so inspired listening to you, ma'am. I feel so inspired listening to you.
Thank you.
Really. Thank you so much for being with us today, ma'am. Taking the
It was
time out.
wonderful sharing the experience with you. And if somebody really gets something out of this, gains something out of this, I'll be really thankful.
Definitely, ma'am.
Grateful too.
So many queries answered, so much of information passed on. You know, I'm definitely not just somebody. A lot of people are going to, be benefiting out of this. I myself have. There are so many things new that I got to know by this conversation. So definitely out there, a lot of people going to be benefiting from this. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for taking the time out. You took me down your journey. You took me down in hindsight. You had to look back, but I am hearing it for the first time. So for me, it was a story. So I was listening very intently, Yeah. In hindsight, you have reached here. You have, I feel.
Actually, my friend, she's not a doctor, but she is doing a lot of work for cancer patients in Indore.
Okay.
She has also talked to you. And I'm inspired by her, frankly.
Okay, wow.
Anuradha Saxena.
Yeah.
She is having an organization in Indore, Sangini.
Yes.
Takes care of, psychotherapy and psychological counseling and helping cancer patients.
Right.
So she told me that, well, you work for patients, but that is one thing. You try doing this also. You talk to Zen-Onco people and your perspective will reach more people if you talk to them. I said, fine. That's why she gave you my contact.
Definitely. And it was such a pleasure getting in touch with you, ma'am. It was such a pleasure getting in touch. And, taking me back in hindsight to the whole story of how it all happened and where you are today. It has changed you as a person, both physically and mentally, definitely at a better place.
True.
Forward.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Always way forward, I'm saying.
Yes,
always way forward.
Yes.
Thank you.
Wonderful talking to you.
Have a good evening.
You too.
And you were saying, ma'am?
If you want, I mean, if I can do something more for patients,
Definitely.
you can always get in touch with me.
Definitely.
And I can, if you want me to talk to somebody regarding anything, I mean, sort of pep talk to patients.
Definitely.
I can do that for you if you want.
We will get in touch with you for that, ma'am. Definitely not an issue at all. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much from Zen Onco and Love Heals Cancer. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking the time.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Anytime. It's been a pleasure, ma'am. Have a good evening and keep inspiring all of us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.